Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I have a Nissan, strike that bit. I have a Peugeot Partner 1.6 diesel, and what it's doing is it's building pressure in the cooling system. We've changed a thermostat on a prior occasion or another occasion. For now, what we're doing is I'm just trying to kind of thinking that we're going to after a head gasket here, but I'm going to do a little combustion leak test and just see where we go. And fingers crossed. I'm only just kind of doing a bit of prior before I rip it apart, okay? So what am I using? I'm just going to show you here. I'm using my CV Tools combustion leak detector. It's quite old, not a whole lot to it. It is just upside down, 2 chambers, and the fluid actually is in there. Now, what I have found from time to time, and I don't know whether this is a good thing or a bad thing, the combustion leak fluid, I have found on diesels, sometimes it doesn't actually change colour too well. Even if I had a head gasket gun on it, I wouldn't get it to change colour. Now, I bought at a pint Sykes Picavant. It's actually nearly faded there. Sykes Picavant, and it's a reaction fluid sensitive. So it's a sensitive reaction fluid. Now, I know there's not much of numbers on that at this point in time, but we're going to just test out this stuff and see. I've never had much faith in these combustion leak detectors on diesels. I couldn't ever get them to change even when a head gasket was gone, or they wouldn't change. I'd take an engine apart and then I'd see a head gasket gone. So look, hopefully this stuff might do something for me. Fingers crossed. We'll carry on and see. Okay, I'm after putting in the combustion leak detecting fluid. You can see that it's very blue, so that's our starting point, and that's the colour before we do anything. So hopefully once we go and put this on the car, we will get it changed. It's meant to change to kind of a, dare I say, yellow or a green. Okay, so it's meant to go from blue to kind of, yellowy green if it detects CO or carbon monoxide in the actual cooling system. So we'll go and we'll stick it on the car and just see what we find. Okay guys, sorry about the noise. See, at this point in time my fluid is changing colour. It's going from dark blue to kind of a whitey, yellowy greeny. A very antiquated way, but the tip tester doesn't sit on the bar straight. There's a big bar resting on it. It's the only way I can hold the camera and keep this thing in it, okay? Sorry about the noise of the engine running. We are definitely changing colour, so we have exhaust gas getting into our cooling system somewhere or somehow. I think the thought process at this point is maybe I'll pull engine and gearbox out on the ground and just maybe get a good visual on everything that's out on the ground. Guys, I just took off the head gasket tester, but you can actually see smoke coming up out of our jar. That's the constant. Okay guys, I went stripping for an hour or so just to see what direction I was going to take. What I'm after doing is I'm after pulling off all the wipers and stuff at the bottom of the windscreen, and airbox that sits in here, battery tray that sits in here, and what I'm seeing is I'm starting to gain a lot of room, even on the back. I have a lot of room to see in where I'm pulling out bolts and stuff. So maybe I keep on stripping for another hour, because all this crack has to come off anyway. Intercooler pipes and throttle bodies and maybe even potentially turbos, but it's all quite easy to get. So maybe I'll drive on for an hour and I might attack back in from this direction rather than take an engine and gearbox out on the ground and then hit my gearbox on a separate occasion, but treat it as a different job, nearly in a sense. Or when I have the head taken off, I might pull the gearbox out while this is being skimmed and stuff, resurfaced, okay? Guys, I'm doing my stripping, but according as I'm stripping, I was looking in at my time belt and I was going to start stripping around the time belt side. But look what I see. Gosh. So I haven't taken any covers off of this as of yet. But down and in here, look. It looks like a tensioner wheel has come in or out, or whatever you want to call it, and just is starting
to protrude. Not very nice. Starting to protrude its head out from, it looks like a tensioner or guide or something off the time belt, starting to come through the covers. Wow, if it is. I've the outlet belt off it, but how lucky we are if that is correct and if my thought process is correct. Now, that's nothing to do with our job today, but I did hear a noise in here and I pulled an alternator belt off thinking there was a bearing going in an alternator or something like that prior, because I wouldn't want to take an engine out or head off and not do this as well. So whatever the heck is wrong in here as well. Times carry on going. Okay guys, what's happening is bearing went, this is not as this job, thing's not in for this job. Bearing went on the pulley. Pulley came out through the cover. It then stopped turning. The belt is very loose. Actually, it may not be that the bearing actually went in it, because I can see this inner pulley turning when I do this, but the outer part stopped turning and has a groove chamfered right straight into it. Wow. Didn't really matter anyway. Engine's probably nearly bait as it is, but hey, here we go. Ooh. Nasty. Okay guys. What the heck? What the heck happened here, huh? This is not what it's in for. Switch the line. Okay guys, I have my head off of this thing. The concerning bit is maybe my time and jump because of that pulley, but I have a mark on 1, 2, 3, 4 pistons. Rings, I'm actually blocking it, I'm creating the light. On the rings of the cylinder head, probably not as clean here as what I would like it. And all the way down, maybe, again, nice and clean and shiny around here. Now probably just, I didn't give it a wiper, I didn't do anything, but it's here, maybe I have a little bit of darkness as well, nearly like exhaust gas is getting in there slightly. Now I didn't clean any of these gaskets, so you're seeing them actually as I took them off. I didn't even wipe, just in case I'd spread anything. On this side, this is the cylinder head side. On this side, you don't actually look massively bad, but then this car was driving around. It never boiled over. All that we got was, whoops, pressure in the cooling system. Now I have to say, when I'm looking at it, if you can see the outer ring part here, it looks nice and clean all the way around here. A little bit smoky in there, so that's part of the cooling system. Around here, there's water actually in here, but it does look smokier here. And I have that same smoky stuff on the inside of my jar. So, look, fingers crossed, getting a bit cleaner around here. A little bit smoky again over there. I don't actually see a physical burn mark in here, and I don't see anything mentally wrong over here. Then there's the head, and I have given that a wash. Maybe the same thing, could be only water marks, but I have slight kind of burny marks there as well. The rings as a whole, as in the circle, not the rings of the engine, as in the rings that the gasket would leave on the head itself, don't probably look too wickedly bad, but yet in saying that, there's fingers crossed, there's something amiss in there. You know, actually, maybe would that be? No, I was going to say, would these clean marks be from water maybe getting in around the section or anything? Don't know, I doubt it. God knows. It could be from the swirl pots in the actual pistons, but lo and behold, we have our head off now. We have to send her off, get it resurfaced or skimmed as I call it, and see where we go from there. Hopefully we'll slap this thing back together and it's going to work out. But I didn't take our engine out, so it stayed in there. I just started taking off bits and I continued on taking off bits, and lo and behold, here we are. We'll do the clutch, as I said, on a separate set. Okay guys, there's our cylinder head after being resurfaced. I'm told that it was slightly warped. Not so bad, but was slightly warped. There's our new gasket that's going into it. And then after cleaning up our block, time for it to go back together now. And fingers crossed we'll all be okay once I have it up and running again. Okay guys, this thing is going back together, head back on, fuel filter in, turbo on, particle filter in, on, injectors back in, rocker cover on, time belt going on. That's what our tensioner should look like. The actual half that was in there, there's the bearing out of it. And I still have to get that thing out of it and try and repair that cover some bit, but that will come at some stage. We're going back here, nearly there, tensioned up and stuff. We'll see what happens in the next little while when I turn the key. My bad guys, I didn't order a cover, so that's where I said, "Oh, what are you doing?" But actually, it isn't protruding out too much, or it's all quite flat. Probably just looks a little bit miserable. It's only just epoxy stuck in there, but gone hard and all at this stage, so ready to go. Cover go on. Right, she's running down. We have I suppose whatever bits and pieces, new alternator belt stuck on it, new time belt kit stuck on it, new head gasket, which we know the fuel filters and stuff have been changed recently. I am still change oil and filters and stuff, but she's up and running anyway. Bit of cranking. What I did do was I opened an injector pipe just to leave the airlock get through. There's a little hand primer sitting here on top of the fuel filter, so primed whatever air was in it up as far as the filter out of it, and then cranked until the actual fuel started to come out the pipe that I had open. Now I knew the fuel rail was full. At that point I squeezed it up, turned the key, and up she goes anyway. It sounds probably a bit better. I don't hear my jingle that I at the start, and I may not have mentioned it here, but it was that little piece of steel. I believe I showed earlier on off of one of the pulleys, but anyway, sounds nice. It sounds a bit quieter. Keep on going. Might do have to wash that jar, the inside of it, and now the clutch begins. Right. 5:30 on a very dirty face. 5:30 on a Friday evening. Do you go at your clutch? We have a lot of stuff on next week. I've lads out on holidays and all that kind of stuff. Maybe I'll jump into it for 2 hours and just see where it brings me. Fingers crossed. Be out of it by then, huh? Clutch is done, back together. A bit later than planned, 8:15. But I had an hour or so talking, and I have to say, I haven't long time since I've worked on such a dirty yoke. My head is filthy and my hands are stink. So time for a wash up. Vamoose home, and I'll talk to you soon on Friday night, so it's going to be Monday morning by the time I'm checking this again. But talk to you soon. Okay guys, we're up and running. Clutch done Monday morning at this stage. After cleaning out the reservoir, I'm running with maybe 15 or 20 minutes. I don't have any big back pressure at this point in time. I'm going to run down and give the engine a bit of a wash. Yeah, getting there. I'll give it a run around the road and just see how we go on these, if it's any good to anyone. There's two bleeders, one bleed screw in there by the thermostat housing, and then there's another bleed screw back in here at the heater matrix. I'm just gonna, when you're filling the cooling system, to actually bleed it from here, from these 2 points, okay? Kind of it up and nearly running. As I said, I have tried my clutch and all, as I said, back together and finished off, but I'll give it a spin, see if I build any back pressure. Fingers crossed. Hopefully we're going to be on the right track and we're done. It's always a little bit of a doubt in your head because you don't know specifically with EGR coolers and all that crack, could anything else be causing it. But at this point in time I was relatively happy when I saw the head gasket and the condition of it, that it's going to be causing our problem. So give it a drive, see what the story is.
And I don't think we have to cross our fingers really. I think we're done. We're okay. Tensioner or the idler or whatever it was called has gone out of place. Noise has gone out of it. All starting to sound right now. Okay. Hi guys, unfortunately I didn't get to catch the end of this Peugeot Partner before it went out. So I'll probably have to just get you to take my word on it, because I had the video recorded and I would like maybe just throw it up there just for some lads to look at and stuff and see, and if anyone has pressure building up in their cooling system in a 1.6 Citroen or Peugeot or even a Ford or Volvo. I think the same engine is in at this point in time. Once I had it put back together, there is no pressure there when cold. That's what I wanted. When hot, when it gets very warm, yes, naturally there's going to be pressure in there, but just what this was doing was holding the pressure there, and it was building pressure. The pressure was, if you took off the cover and the pressure dissipated, the minute you put it on, it was building pressure fast. So that is gone. It is staying cool. There's noise or the jingle that was in it because of the crank pulley is gone at this point in time. So look, I hope this is of some bit of good, the start of the video to you and the run up and the build up through it and to it of doing the head gasket. Either which way, lads, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if my hints and tips are any good, and comment. As I said, well, I didn't say it, but put in a few comments. I'll chat away and I'll have a bit of a hoolie or talk or whatever it may be with anyone that I can do, okay? Lads, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you next cartoon. Peter Kennedy, sign out.